Suicide rate among doctors are increasing these days, and I think it's better to do it in English because it's not just in Kerala but all over India. So, yeah, why do you think suicide rates are increasing among doctors? When I used to do my medicine, I remember I was discussing about the fear I had towards surgery to a fellow patient who was scared of surgery, and then he told me, oh, even doctors have this fear, or even doctors get sick, kind of a question. So that's somewhat similar in case of the suicide rates among doctors. So uh, people don't usually consider doctors as human beings. They are like a different kind of species. That's what they do. So let's see how a person become a doctor, right? Usually, kids start preparing to become a doctor from their early ages onwards, and most of them who are becoming doctors are these so-called nerds, and they usually score top marks when they are in school. Most of them are kids of like teachers or doctors, and some people are from normal families, the so-called first generation doctors. So they would be the ones who study so hard from the school times, and we know we have this long term preparation like in coaching centers. And then for the neet, some people would repeat for a year or so, and then they get into this mbbs, right? So uh, for myself, I actually repeated 1 year after I didn't get into immediately after my 12th exam. So I had to go 1 year just to focus on this entrance preparation. Many of my friends have done the same, and some people have given like 2 or 3 years for that repeating itself. All right. So just imagine after the 2 3 years, most of our friends who have done degrees like a BA or other diploma courses, they are already starting to do their work by that time when we join a college, right? And yeah, it's a so-called professional college. So mbbs goes ahead and be like 5.5 years of course. And let me be open to you about this. Most of us don't know what are the syllabuses which we would be facing when we start mbbs. So we all were toppers in schools. Most of us, like 95% of us, were like toppers, and then other people are like, okay. Anyways, everyone are above average, right? So when we get into mbbs, we feel like we can just relax a little bit after repeating and all those things, but no, we can't, because the first year has, after the exams, you have this thing like, if you fail in any of the papers, you will have a lag of 6 months. So it's the first year itself, it's a university exam, so the teachers would be like, you don't have time to relax, you have to start preparing for your universities. So as we, most of us are not from doctor families, so we don't know like what are the subjects gonna be like. We don't have many people to guide us through, and a lot of the subjects which come into you for the preparations are really new, and you really don't have an idea like this much you have to study and this bad it is gonna be like, right? Because every year, like in 10th standard, we think that's the max you have to study. In 11th and 12th, you think that's the max, and you have to focus for the entrance exams, and in every year this burden is increasing day by day. And a lot of people don't even come there with their own will. They are forced to take mbbs. They're good at study, so they clear the competitive exams and they come in. And what happens is like, once they start facing this pressure, so it's like a constant thing, right? Like 10th, 11th, 12th, and then repeating or not repeating, and then this first year. So that itself is like a phase of your life, and you're just 17 or 18, and you don't know pretty much about anything, and you're going to a hostel or you're going to a different place, you're staying away from your home. So a lot of things are different. And also in professional colleges, sometimes there is this taunting from the seniors, which you can call as ragging. It's not like, it's not about the severity, it's about the comfort. And it's about the embarrassment it causes to you, right? Many of them are not very good with all these things, and they find it very difficult to adjust to a hostel life. They find it very difficult to adjust with other people. And you might be, if you are in a government medical college and all, if the government hostels, you will be sharing your room with a lot of other people, and there is no privacy, and everything is new to you, and you take some time to cope up with it, but you don't get to cope up with it really well, because you have a lot of other things to do. It's like from school to college transition, and it's pretty hard. And during this time is when a lot of my friends as well used to say, we want to give up the seat, but we can't give up the seat, because if it's a government seat and if you have to give up, in Kerala it's like you have to give 10 lakhs. Okay, so I don't know about other states. Anyway, it costs you. You have to pay. It's like a fine, because and then comes the guilt trip. Even if you don't want to, you can't leave it, because it's a seat worth crores in private. So that happens. And if you are studying in a private medical college, you can't give it up, because your parents have paid a lot of money for it, and it's a lot of effort you're putting into it to get that seat. So you can't just give up and go ahead, right? So that happens, and then you start studying. So then you get into the track and you go by there, and it's not like every subject is gonna be easy. A lot of subjects are not that easy, and you find it really hard to get along. And the first time many of the toppers from school actually taste a failure is when they start studying in medical school, because it's not easy to pass the exams, and you need minimum 50% to pass the exams. And for me and many of my friends, we have never known that much of a struggle to get 50% till then. And then it comes the clinics and all those things. So that is when the real game starts, the communication. We don't know how to deal with other things, and by this time you see most of your friends who have taken other courses get ahead of you, and they would be having their first job by then. When you are in second or third year of MBBS, you would see many of your friends who have taken up other professional courses or other courses going ahead with their life. They are having jobs, they are moving to new places, they are having their turning point in their life, and we are still studying. And we have a tag like, you're becoming a doctor, your life would be easy later, right? So we believe in that, and then we go ahead. And it's sometimes frustrating when you can't cope up with that fact that it's gonna be a never-ending study. And after 4.5 years of studying, you have 1 year of internship. That's when the real deal comes, where you have to continuously work for like 50-60 hours continuously without even sleeping properly. So that is because of the lack of human resources and lack of administration in a proper way at government hospitals. And you do it just like that, because I think when our previous generation used to do it, they had even hard time. So now it is less, but it is more for us. And what happens is, like, when I personally say this thing, when I see my juniors complaining about certain things which I was okay about, I have this gut feeling of like, why can't they just do it? I have also done 60 hours continuously. I haven't slept, but I have done it. I don't see how hard it was for me, and I also expect my juniors to do the same. But now I am at a point where I realize that was so stupid to think like that, because I didn't have to do that, and neither do my juniors, right? So this is a cycle which you go through. And then finally you think after MBBS you can relax. No, you can't relax. So after continuous 5.5 years of struggle, you have to, some people start preparing in between MBBS itself, and then you have entrance preparation for your PG, because by that time everyone else would be starting to ask you what specialty you are in, and people would be asking you doubts about medicine and all those things, and you also don't know what specialty you want to. Some people do know what they want to do, and that happens. And then you become like, you write for the entrance examination, and some people wouldn't be like taking the PG they were interested in, and some people would not get it even after multiple trials, and some people just take it just for the sake of taking a PG, and some people even sacrifice their favorite PG just because their husbands want to. It's about the female doctors. So these things happen and then they get into PG, right? So that would be like sometimes in a different medical college, and we would be like, some people would be thinking how the atmosphere of that particular department in our medical college when you were doing MBBS, and they think that would be the same when they go into PG. But PG is like deeper and it differs how the atmosphere is gonna be like in different colleges, right? So that PG feeling is so different, and you're very responsible, uh, and you have a lot of more responsibilities compared to the MBBS times. That's also not so easy, and the transition, like sometimes you would be in a different state, you have to learn different languages, you have to get acclimatized to the culture, and there won't be so many friends with you. Like in MBBS times you will be all alone sometimes, and you have different people like your seniors, they won't be speaking your same language, they won't be from same kind of college as you. So that is also a difficult task, and you have to start a life where you are a student, you're not working, and by that time you might be like 25, 26, right? And that's when most of the people actually start their career, or like they're halfway their career. When most of the people have a strong basement in their career and we are still studying, and by the time a doctor becomes a consultant, it is by their late 20s or early 30s. So super specialist matlab it's mid 30s. So that's when they start their career, and when they start their career like that, they are not going to get paid like other professions. So it would be a new information for you, because everyone would say like doctors are gonna get paid, so that's why you have to struggle a lot. No, for the struggle you have, it's not worth it. So the money you get for the struggle you have, people always consider this as a service, but it's our bread and butter. Yeah, it's not just service, it's after we give away all our childhood, adolescence, youth, everything, really adulthood, that's when we start to earn. And also, by the time you reach there, most of your friends have bought their first car, bought their house, they have their children, they are married, and you, most of the doctors by that time have started thinking about all these things, and some people would have already tried to do everything together. They're great, they could do it, and the family would be starting to pressurize you on like, why are you not earning money like other doctors, and people would think of you as doctors as a chunk together, right? But a consultant at a 30 years of age won't be earning the same, and experience and everything, it's a competitive world. And people are coming to this profession without knowing a lot of these things. If you want to give up a PG seat, you have to give 50 lakhs. How would you do that, right? And so it's very difficult, and you have bond to do. After 3 years of PG you have to do bond there, so that pays also less, and you have to work like 24 to 48 hours continuously and all. So it's not easy. Many people don't even know this, and then they take it up, right? And nowadays I think the competition is even hard to get into neet UG. So that's why when I see the marks for the competitive exams, we as friends, like I studied MBBS in 2013, so that time the marks, when we compare, we don't even think we can get into the course. Okay, so that's how hard the competition is. So that's why we see a lot of suicides and all in like Kota and other coaching institutes, where people are like so much forced, so much pressurized to deal with all these things. Okay, so what happens is like they don't know how to deal with the stress. Sometimes parents are forcing, sometimes that's where everyone is going, so I'm also going ahead, and people actually don't guide you better on like what to do and how to do. So my suggestion would be, when you are taking up MBBS or this medical field, please know what is waiting for you. Be realistic and have an idea on like what exactly you are gonna face and what are the pros and cons of it. Know the merits and just understand whether you need those merits, and whether you are okay to sacrifice a lot of other things for those merits, and whether it is worth it. And please don't force your kids into medicine just because you like that title of doctor. Yeah, it feels really good after a lot of sacrifice and all, but sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's not worth it. You won't have a personal life, and you would have to sacrifice a lot for just for that title, right? And it's not as stylish as it looks like, and it has a lot of sacrifice behind it. And the other thing I would say is, like, when freshers are coming to your college and all, what the seniors can do is you can be more supportive. Yeah, you have that itch to actually scratch them, and you feel like you have gone through this, so they should also go through it. But it's not true, to be honest, because with each generation tolerance levels are decreasing and the competition is increasing, and we don't have to make them suffer like us, right? So when we try to make their lives hard like our seniors did to us, then the cycle is never gonna end. We can be just kind to them, we can just help them understand the situation, like what are the subjects to study. We can help them, support them, make them feel a little calm in the environment where they are already scared. It's just 17-18-year-old kids who are coming to mbbs, right? And then what happens is, like, in the medical colleges also, professors are like really old, so they also have a set of ways to behave to the kids that also can be a little calmer and a little bit softened. I think majority of the clinicians now, they are behaving in a really sweet way to the kids. So it is really good, because even though it's called professional degree, before and all, the doctors used to do bsc and all before they started mbbs, but now it is directly from 12th, so their brain is not that matured and they are not that hard, right? And after a lot of struggle, when they come into even more struggle, it's nice to have some help out there, right? And in pg courses, please know what you really want to take. Have a set of courses you want to take, and don't take a course just for the sake of taking it. Know the pros and cons, and see whether those pros are okay for you, whether those cons are okay for you, and only then you go ahead with the course. And don't sacrifice your favorite course just for the sake of others. Just know that. And when you are joining for pg also, I know you can't change your seniors, but you can be a good senior for your junior. They would be having a lot of issues with the language, with the atmosphere, a new life, right? At the age of 26, you're going to a different state or different district, and everything is different. And it's not like in textbooks, and it's really hard to do like work and manage your life, everything together. So be more kind, so be supportive, help them understand it, and don't overwhelm them. Be supportive in your minimal ways possible. Not about the speciality, it's about the stress you're going through, and everyone has struggled, so try to seek medical help whenever needed, because that is another issue right here, because a lot of doctors nowadays are taking treatment, but although the stigma is there, okay, so people are like really scared to take medicines because they are afraid that it might affect their career growth, their future and all those stuffs. But it's not like that. Once you don't take treatment, it is going to worsen your condition further. So please don't hesitate to take treatment, and have your favorite set of people whom you can talk to, whether it be your senior, junior, co-pg or consultants, whoever it is. Go and talk to them, don't feel bad about it, and don't consider this as the end of life. It is. And this is to the kids who are preparing for mbbs and all. Don't consider this as the end of your life. There are better things out there. If you really want this, just understand what it is worth it, and only then take it up. Otherwise it's going to be a struggle. And yeah, seek professional help if you are feeling very much scared and stressed. And parents, please don't push your kids to the limits where they can't take it up anymore, and have a safe space with you, and let them have a safe space in you, and so that they can discuss with you regarding their concerns. If they are feeling low and if they are feeling scared about their life, let them come to you and talk to you. Don't make them feel bad even more. So they are already feeling bad about it, so don't force them to do things more than what they can. And it's not an easy thing, it's very difficult. And for the young consultants like me, yeah, it is true that we feel like ours we had in school and all, they are going ahead of us, they are having their life sorted, and we are still struggling. Yeah, it is the bitter truth, but try to not compare you with them. Have your own path made and understand, be more realistic, and then go ahead with your life like that. Okay, don't go into that flashy imaginary world you have. Yeah, you can dream higher, you can work for it, but don't stress yourself comparing, and don't keep yourself like don't compare your time zones and your turning points with theirs. You might not be having your first career set at your 25 years of age. Maybe your first career starts at your 30, and you might buy a car when you are 35, and you might build a house when you are 40. Let it be. You don't have to have the goals as same as your other friends, and accept the reality and take professional help if needed. So I think I have missed a lot also here, but if you have more points to add, you can add it in the comment section. And please do share with your medical friends, and please do share with your family members if you wanna, and those kids who are preparing for mbbs, and those who are preparing for pg. All right, so yeah, that's all about this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe if you want more contents like this. That's all I have to say. Thank you. One thing I forgot to mention is the physical and verbal abuse doctors have to face during practice. The helplessness and the fear of getting beaten up anytime. That's one of the reasons why young doctors are leaving to foreign countries these days.